I do want to go over the new AP rankings that just came out today. So of course we have South Carolina at number 1, which of course makes a lot of sense. They are the absolute number 1 choice, and they were actually unanimous for this week, which of course makes a lot of sense. UCLA is number 2. We have NC State, which I profiled earlier. They're at number 3, well-deserved, very, very good team. Iowa is number 4. I'm kind of surprised that Iowa is still ranked so high. But yeah, they're at number 4. And then Texas rounds out the top 5. Well-deserved for Texas. They're a very good team in the Big 12 who's just, doing really well. They've dominated a ton of teams, and we saw how they played against UConn. So shout out to the women of Texas. Number 6 is USC. Makes sense. LSU. I'm surprised that LSU has not gone up in the rankings. I figured they would have moved up, but they did not. I personally would have put LSU and USC and Texas over Iowa, personally. We have Colorado at number 8. It went down 1 spot. Stanford surprisingly only went down 6 spots, which to me is surprising. I figured they would have went down further, especially with that loss against Gonzaga and the way that they lost. But I wonder if the reason why they weren't dropped down so far is because Cameron Brink had an illness in the second half of that game, and so I wonder if that maybe factored into the judges' sort of thought process, kind of. Baylor rounds out the top 10. Then we have Utah at 11, Ohio State at 12, K-State at 13, Notre Dame at 14, Virginia Tech 15, Indiana 16. UConn now is at number 17. And I thought, for those who caught one of my live streams over the weekend, you heard me talking about UConn, and I really didn't think that UConn was going to drop this low. I figured, I didn't think they were going to drop that low, mainly because it feels like there's a huge bias for UConn, and to me that's definitely a factor. But surprisingly, they were dropped. So for a fun fact for you guys, this is UConn's worst ranking in 30 years. So this is a huge deal for them to be ranked number 17. This also ends their 357 week stretch of being ranked top 15. So yeah, that's a big deal. 357 week streak they were on, and they lost it because now they are ranked outside of the top 15. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Louisville is ranked number 18. Marquette is a team that I have not watched this year. They're ranked number 19. So now I need to watch them because I haven't watched a game. If y'all have watched a game of Marquette's, let me know what y'all think about Marquette in the comments. I'll go back and watch some of the old games and like some of the games over the past couple weeks and see what's going on with Marquette. But shout out to Marquette for being number 19. We also have Florida State number 20, Washington State number 21, Creighton at number 22, Gonzaga. They got their way in the top 25 with the awesome win against Stanford. Now North Carolina, I believe they totally played their way into a top 25 pick because of the way that they played South Carolina. Yes, they lost against South Carolina, but it was the way, it was how tough of an out they were for South Carolina that I think is what really got them into the top 25. Yes, they're 5-3 on the season, but that was a really impressive game that they played against South Carolina, even with the loss, and I think that is what earned them a spot in the top 25. Also, Penn State rounds out the top 25 with the 25th pick. They are currently 7-1 in the country. So, a couple of big observations is just how much parity there is in the women's game. Just with the different conferences that are like sort of at the top. Though I will say the Pac-12, they're having a great swan song outro. Like they just really are, because if you take a look at this, we have UCLA number 2, Pac-12. We have USC number 6, Pac-12. We have Colorado number 8, Pac-12. We have Stanford at number 9, Pac-12. And we have Utah at number 11, again, Pac-12. Like, yes, there's a lot of other conferences in there, and the parity is great, but the Pac-12, you know, it's a bummer that they won't exist anymore. Of course, the teams will still exist, but like the conference won't exist, because they're having a great outro to their season. But in terms of other conferences, we got, you know, the SEC with South Carolina and LSU that are doing their thing. We have the ACC being represented well with NC State. NC State is the highest ACC team ranked. And then you have to go all the way down to number 14 for the next ACC team. We also have the Big Ten being represented with Iowa. You know, and then we have Ohio State at number 12. Texas represented for the Big 12. I'm enjoying seeing the variety of conferences in here. You know, of course, and then you have to go all the way down to see the Big East being represented in UConn. And then of course Marquette at number 19 as well. What do y'all think about these rankings? I think it's kind of cool to sort of see the different teams, especially as you go further down. The thing that I really, really enjoy is that you're seeing teams that a lot of people may not even really consider a basketball team, a women's basketball team. For example, Marquette, you know. Well, Washington State's been pretty good, but Creighton, Gonzaga, Penn State, like these are programs that you don't find, their games are not on ESPN. They're not. They may be on ESPN Plus, but they're not on like ESPN, ESPN2, ABC. Like these are not some of the traditional teams that have been very good. And I'm just enjoying seeing them get their shine, you know, and can't wait to see even more upsets with some of these teams that, you know, people aren't expecting to be good, but are good. As I've said a lot of times before, there's a lot of parity in women's basketball, and it's great to see. It really is. So all these top teams, they better be on their toes, because otherwise they're going to get got and they're going to lose and they're going to fall in the rankings. All right, guys. Yeah, that's a look at the new rankings for women's basketball for week 5. So yeah, please share your thoughts in the comments below. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. All right, now on to the WNBA. I just have 2 updates for you this week. Shakira Austin of the Washington Mystics recently had surgery to repair a